It's a cool fall afternoon on the Pocono, Maine, where we find Delaware Lackawanna train PO75, heading engines light towards Bridge 60 after tying the rest of their train down just south of Scranton Yard. That next Sunday, we are back in Scranton Yard, this time to see DL train PO74, finalizing their train before departing south for Cresco. Once at a stop, PO74 would then shove back into the yard, setting off cars before marking the rear end of their train. Once secure in the yard, the PO74 would then head back out of the yard as the conductor lines and locks all switches to the normal position before installing the end of train device onto the rear car of their train. As the conductor installs the marker and performs a brake test, we move to Myrtle Street to witness the crossing activate and lower to protect oncoming traffic for PO74 departing Scranton. From Myrtle Street, we continue on south to Front Street, where we see PO74 hammering south on heavy jointed rail. From Front Street, we continue striking south to Lehigh Road, where the peace and quiet is interrupted by the faint roar of Alco locomotives leaning into the curve, as PO74 continues south at track speed. At Tobiana, we are set up right next to the station and across the street from the former control tower, as PO74 descends down the grade, slowing to a stop as they prepare to work Keystone Propane. Once at a stop, the PO74 continues south ahead of the switch and ahead of the crossing, where the switch is realigned before shoving back into Keystone. Once ahead of the crossing, the PO74 shoves back into Keystone Propane to tie onto the outbound cars and pull them off the spur and onto the main. Once tied on, the PO74 would then spend the next few moves tying onto cars separated when spotted. And once tied onto all cars, the PO74 would then pull the outbound cars onto the main. Once ahead of the switch, the PO74 would then shove back on the main to set the outbound cars aside before shoving the inbound cars onto the spur. Once set on the main, the PO74 pulls back ahead of Keystone Propane. Once ahead of the switch, the PO74 shoves the inbound cars of propane into Keystone. Once the inbound cars were secure and spotted, the PO74 pulls back onto the main and ahead of the crossing to let traffic clear up before shoving back to the rest of their train. Once traffic has cleared, the PO74 shelves back to the rest of their train, prior to continuing south on the Pocono main. At Pocono Summit, we are positioned on Summit Avenue, where we find PO74 climbing the straightaway before they crest the summit and continue south towards Cresco. As the PO74 rounds the curve and out of sight, that will conclude this video on the Pocono main. And as always from the Weathered Rails, thanks for watching.